service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC News and Jib Jab Greeting. I'm Bud Lowell, and the full AccuWeather forecast is across the top of all CNC local news pages. State lawmakers thought they'd have New York's budget approved over the weekend, but now they say it will be a push to get the necessary votes done by the April 1st deadline. Governor Cuomo reached agreement last week with the Senate and Assembly leadership, but printing the budget bills, which amount to a pile of paper several feet thick, took longer than expected. The state Senate held a rare Sunday session and approved parts of the budget covering transportation, economic development, public safety, and general government operations. The Assembly canceled plans for a Sunday session and plans to meet Thursday to begin voting the bills through. Easter and Passover are just ahead, and that complicates the scheduling. Believe it or not, we're only a couple of weeks away from highway construction, and this year that will include some heavy-duty work on the Western Expressway that will cut lanes on I-490 in Chili and in Gates. Governor Cuomo's office says construction begins next month to replace 4 bridge decks on 490. These bridges carry east and west 490 over Chili Center Coldwater Road in Chili and over Route 204 in Gates, the airport expressway. During construction, 490 will be cut to a single lane each way over a 2.5-mile stretch from Paul Road to Buffalo Road. And of course, that stretch carries heavy traffic in rush hours, so things will be slow from April into August, despite the DOT's best efforts to keep you moving. Postal workers and their supporters rallied outside post offices around New York, including here in Rochester on Sunday, demanding continuation of 6-day mail delivery. The U.S. Postal Service will eliminate Saturday delivery nationwide this summer to cut its deficit. The Postmaster General says ending Saturday service in August will save $2 billion a year. But Postal Service supporters say the jobs of 7 million private sector workers in the printing and other industries depend on the post office, and they can't do their jobs on Saturdays if they don't have postal service. They gathered in front of the Jefferson Road Post Office in Henrietta and at this big rally in New York, where they chanted 6 days the only way and demanded the Postmaster General and Congress take action. More than 2,400 volunteers, including about 40 RIT students, gathered in Texas over the weekend for the Rochester Institute of Technology's 28th annual Big Shot. The Big Shot is a timed exposure of some well-known landmark somewhere in the world, lit by volunteers holding flashlights. It's a March tradition for RIT's School of Photographic Arts and Sciences. They call it painting with light because participants are asked to paint or shine their light source onto a particular part of the landmark while the photograph is taken. This year they gathered at Arlington, Texas and lit Cowboys Stadium, the home of the Dallas Cowboys. Professor Emeritus Bill Du Bois, who led the event, said it took 20 months of work to set it up. This is the first time the lights have been off at Cowboys Stadium since it was built. The volunteers included 175 alums from the Dallas area. Everyone lit their assigned spot, while RIT photographers, perched up on a scissor lift 40 feet high, shot an extended exposure. For you photogs, it's a 30-second exposure, f/16 at ISO 400. The late winter storm blowing across the Midwest and into the Atlantic states has forced the Rochester Institute of Technology to reschedule Monday's planned visit by poet Maya Angelou. The storm that buried the central states canceled flights and scrambled transportation, so Angelou's lectures will be moved to sometime in late April. RIT officials say they'll notify every registered attendee as soon as the new date is set, and they apologize for any inconvenience. Over at the University of Rochester, they are raising tuition for the next school year by 3.9%. President Joel Seligman says the university is pursuing savings wherever it can find them while still providing students with a high-value education. The U of R says this amounts to an increase of a bit less than $2,000. Next year's tuition will be $44,580. A Penfield teenager stabbed early Saturday was upgraded to satisfactory on Sunday, and the teen who stabbed him is charged with first-degree assault. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office says 16-year-old Paul Luft was stabbed when a fight broke out early Saturday morning at a party on Alpine Drive in Penfield. Deputies who responded found Luft lying in the road, stabbed in the abdomen. After an investigation, they went looking for 18-year-old Brandon Henderson of Penfield. caught up with him on Macedon Center Road in Wayne County and arrested him. Deputies say Luft was at the party on Alpine Drive when Henderson arrived with a group of his friends. Luft got into a fight with one of the friends. Deputies say Henderson then stabbed him and ran. All three youths attend Webster Schrader High School. Henderson is in the Monroe County Jail on $150,000 bail. A Rochester man found shot Saturday night on the city's west side died Sunday of his injuries at Strong Memorial Hospital. Police say the victim is a 36-year-old man found laying in the front yard of a house on Depew Street off Chili Avenue about 8 Saturday night. He had been shot multiple times, and his death marked the city's 8th homicide of 2013. Police did not release the victim's name, but media reports say family members have identified him as Dimitri Everett, a father of 2. Police say they're looking for a suspect. And just a few hours later, the next day, another shooting incident left 2 people injured Sunday night, one of them critically. This was also on Depew Street between Chili and West Avenues late Sunday night. Police were called by someone who heard gunshots. They found a 21-year-old city man shot multiple times in the mid and upper body. He was taken to Strong, and he's in critical condition. The second victim is a 22-year-old woman. She was also taken to Strong. Her injuries are considered non-life-threatening. And a church in the village of Dansville, linked to the founding of the American Red Cross, has been recommended for the state and national registers of historic places. According to the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, St. Paul's Lutheran Church is where Clara Barton founded the first local chapter of the American Red Cross in 1881. In those days, it was known as the English Evangelical Lutheran Church. The Greek Revival Building is one of 4 historic churches around Church Square in Dansville. It dates to 1847. To the left of the player window, you'll find links to these and other stories, and at the bottom of the page, links you can use to post news and information directly to us. So the next news is as it happens, the updates are as necessary, and you help us be the judge of that by what you share. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.